This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Target exclusive Ninja Force Zartan, part of the G.I. Joe Classified series, and you, Target, I hate you. That being said, I got real lucky with this one. I missed out on the pre-order on mine, just like I missed out on the pre-order for the Scarlet and whoever the other guy is 2-pack, because why not do more 2-packs? Because, you know, somebody might want to buy a second of one of those figures, like Scarlet in my case, and not want the other one, and then let's make them exclusive so they're even harder to get. I really hate Hasbro doing this kind of shit, honestly. That being said, here's our Ninja Force Zartan again, which I don't know why Zartan is part of a Ninja Force in the first place. Like, he is one of the Cobra enemy ones. So technically, are they really Ninja Force? Because the Ninja Force is supposed to be the G.I. Joe side, right? Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Let's take a look at the side here. We see some artwork of the Ninja Force Zartan here. The other side, we get the same usual bullshit we do that we don't know what they mean. And on the back, we get a product shot here of Zartan on a building top in Japan. I suppose the reason why Zartan is part of Ninja Force is because he's the one who supposedly killed, who was it, the blind master in the Aragakashi village. Anyway, let's go ahead and open him up. Oh, yeah. As I was saying, sorry, I totally spaced out. I got lucky with this, though, because when I went ahead and ordered him, or I was basically refreshing the website every couple hours on the day he was supposed to be released. And so I did manage to get him that way. So yeah, it said one of the local Targets had 6 of him in stock. And so I went ahead and I ordered it for pickup right away. They did not have shipping at that moment, but when I refreshed it after I bought it, they did have shipping option. So I felt kind of dumb. When I went to Target to pick him up, though, or before I went to go pick him up, he was sold out. I got lucky that I got my order in when I did, apparently. So anyway, let's take a look at his accessories. He's got 2 kunai, I guess we'll call it this time. And they look like they go in this little holster here. Sheath on his knee, I guess. Honestly, surprised they didn't fall out. We got a new 2-sword backpack thing to go with his 2 swords. And they are not identical. They are different. One is shorter than the other. These remind me more of Chinese swords, though, than Japanese swords. I never had the original figure of this guy. Oh, look at that. They just kind of like line up together almost perfectly. I never had the original Ninja Force version. In fact, Ninja Force was about the time I was getting out of the G.I. Joe. So, he comes with a sickle-like weapon. I cannot remember the name of this. So I don't know what to call it. There does not appear to be a spot on him to hold it, though. We also have this rather fascinating looking bow. And it's got a set of arrows that you should be able to clip on here. Like so. So he's got his ammo right there with him. 4 total arrows. But what's interesting here, and Hasbro's finally learning some goodies here. Get out of the way. Finally learning some goodies here, because it appears that we can detach this back string here. And then insert a drawn... That really doesn't line up very well, does it? Insert the drawn arrow. It seems like it should rest on that. Let me go flip this the other way. Maybe it fits better that way. Oh, yeah, it looks like it does. But yeah, so you can have it look like he's drawing the bow back for when you're posing this for like photos or just on your shelf. And then if you don't want to have that drawn out, you can just put the single string back in place. This is a massive improvement to what they've been doing recently with the bows. It is a little bit too bad, though, that they did not actually paint the fleshing on the arrow, but I'll take what I can get. So we can fit his bow in hand, like so he can carry it. Again, there's no place on this backpack for it to go, just like with the sickle-like weapon. And I used to know the name of this, and I do not remember. If you know the name, go ahead and tell me. So then also, again, we can go ahead and pull the string out. Let's see how well of a pose we can do with this guy, huh? I mean, in all truth, I don't think the pose is going to work real great, but it'll be better than nothing, I guess. You know, it's the whole thing where G.I. Joe does not actually have hands designed to hold the bowstring. Well, I did a shit job trying to get that to work. Honestly, I doubt I would have him posed with it anyway, so that's not a big deal. I'd rather just have him hold the bow to the side, and maybe I'd put this in his other hand just for the heck of it. So he's carrying all of his gear. Again, I will give Hasbro credit, the designers, for coming up with this to give us the options. But again, unfortunately, they didn't give us a hand designed to hold onto the bowstring. That being said, let's go ahead and take a good look at our Zartan here. I'm going to take all this crap off of him, because this Ninja Force Zartan looks like he's part of a biker gang. You know what? I'm going to raise the camera up a little bit more. So yeah, Zartan here looks like he's part of a biker gang. He still has a little dark, well, they were dark on his old version, and now they're orange to match his hair in the Ninja Force version, which I don't know why they decided to give him a mohawk here. And up until this point, I don't think we ever really saw what Zartan's head looked like, even in the cartoon series. Maybe it was in the comic books. I don't know. But I'm not the biggest fan of this look on Zartan, but as far as the head sculpt itself goes, they did a really good job of it. You know, they accomplished what they were trying to accomplish, so I can't complain about that. Mohawk doesn't look too bad for a plastic mohawk on a figure. Like, they could have done a hell of a lot worse. They might even have done that on the original figure. I don't know. Again, I don't have that one. But let's go over the articulation. We can spin the head around on the ball joint there. Look down and up. Cock the head sideways. Like he's doing that weird neck breaking thing. There's the other joint down there at the neck. We can do the giggity face here. Head movement, whatever. You don't really want to turn the bottom part of the neck too much more than you need to. Otherwise, it looks weird and goofy. He has a butterfly joint. His arm raises up and down. Spin at the wrist. Spin at the bicep. Double joint in the elbow. Spin at the wrist here. We have up and down articulation on that hand. And in and out on this hand. It appears that he has an ab crunch. Not that you can do much with the ab crunch with it being underneath this plastic vest. We still have the waist swivel. On a ball joint and wibble wobble. Drop down hip. Decent clearance. We can kick forward that far. We can kick back about that far. We can kick out this far. He has kind of, sort of an ass, but not much. spin at the knee, spin on the thigh here. Quick double joint there at the knee. Spin at the boot. Those boots are pretty nice looking. I'm pretty sure we've seen those on somebody else, but I can't remember at this moment. Hinge up and down and spin at the foot. So that's our Ninja Force Zartan's articulation. Again, the figure looks pretty good. We got lots of silver detailing, including a bunch of chains here, which kind of make no sense to me, honestly. And I'm not sure why they decided to make this chain orange over here when everything else was silver, other than to try to make it match his hairdo. Now, some of these decisions, of course, are probably because that's how it was done on the original toy back in the 80s. But again, I didn't have it, so I can't confirm. And he's got this weird horned skull. Basically, it looks like he's got Skeletor's head and Havoc Staff top here. You know what I mean? On his belt loop. He must be from Texas, though, because that's a big-ass belt loop. Belt buckle. Yeah, it's called a belt buckle, stupid. Now, Zartan was a figure in the 80s, so we do have a file card for him. Now, if I'm recalling my information correctly from watching a video from Destro is My Spirit Animal, this is part of the year that they stopped having Larry Hama write the file cards. So it is goofy, and then they have this whole thing where they have the weapons and stuff included here. I am not particularly planning on replicating fully this card, but here we go. Codename Zartan, file name unknown, primary military specialty Master of Disguise, birthplace unknown. Actually, now that I think about it, when Destro's My Spirit Animal did his top 15 worst file cards, I believe this was one of them. My personality changes as often as my looks, and they're both bad. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Zartan can alter his skin color at will to blend in with his environment. He is a master of makeup and disguise, a ventriloquist, a linguist. He speaks over 20 languages and dialects, an acrobatic contortionist, and a practitioner of numerous mystical martial arts. Little is known about his background, but captured Cobra documents revealed reports listing him to be as lethal as a two-headed rattler disguised as a garter snake. I should have stuck with Larry Hama. He changes appearances and personalities so often that he can't even keep track of them all. I mean, some of this stuff was on his original file card also. Dude, I'm just gonna say, go to 3D Joe's and look up this Zartan, because the images on this are just awful. His weapons are... Number 1, Kusari Fundu Assault Chain. That's that orange thing, apparently. Sword blocking forearm guards. The thing on his right arm. Flexi plate shin guards. Hey, the shin guards on his shins. Dual leg sheaths hold the knives. Ooh. Rawhide leather jacket. Okay. Shuriken shaved mohawk. Yes, they listed his mohawk as equipment. And actually on this picture, it looks like looks more like a really flat topped mohawk. High tension ninja Yumi bow. No, obviously we know what that is. And Cobra issued lightweight climbing boots. Yes, Cobra has her own brand of climbing boots. Hooray! So I currently fall into the all-in on the G.I. Joe classified stuff, really. I've come close a couple times to stopping. Some of these exclusives are just pissing me off. And I think a lot of people remember my pettiness when it came to the Cold Slither pack and the G.I. Joe Snowcat. Apparently that amused quite a few people, actually. That being said, it seems that there's rumors again that Hasbro is going to be jacking up the prices on their figures again soon. And I just like to remind people that back when the tariffs were announced, Hasbro raised their prices before the tariffs even took effect. And then we had all those lawsuits, and apparently the tariffs are no longer out there like they were. And Hasbro did not lower their prices. So they blamed a lot of that on the tariffs at the time. And of course, as always, when the price goes up, it never goes back down, and Hasbro just keeps making extra profit. And because they have a bunch of stupid shareholders, they need to keep making more profits instead of just like, we keep going at a nice pace here and, you know, everybody gets their dividends. No, we gotta get those stock prices up. A lot of companies do that. There's an old adage, right? You need a little bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. But for the most part, if we're being honest, a lot of these companies, when it comes to their stock prices, and let's be honest, our government itself, a lot of governments, as a matter of fact, where they don't believe in that. They would rather have short-term gains and long-term pain. And that's kind of, I think, the state of the toy industry right now. I saw an article that was talking about some hedge fund that owns like 4% of Mattel stock, wanting Mattel to go ahead and sell themselves to Hasbro so they can get their stock up above $30 a share. And I'm just like, off. Just get your damn dividends and just enjoy that. As long as the company is making money and still putting out dividends to your stock, stop worrying about the stock prices going up, because they just want it to go up so they can dump it and cause it to go back down. Because that is what happens when some of these firms get what they want. They want to get their stock prices jumped up so they can sell it, and then it'll drop down again, and then they'll buy it again, and then, you know, that's kind of bullshit that happens, and it kind of wrecks everybody else's enjoyment of the stock market, so to speak. I didn't mean to go into that, and I mean, that's really kind of a bare bones description of what goes on. It's a lot more detailed than that, but that's just me trying to be simple about it and just pissed off. Because pretty soon, I think I'm going to be priced out of G.I. Joe if these prices go up. I've already stopped buying a lot of the Transformers. As you may have noticed, I haven't done a ton of Transformers videos lately, and most of the ones that I have done have all been related to the Generation 1 animated series, pretty much, with a couple exceptions. But I was definitely big on Transformers for most of my life, and I don't know why I keep talking about Transformers when I'm doing a G.I. Joe video. Sorry, I got a little bit off track there. But that's just kind of what I wanted to say, is that, you know, if these prices keep going up like this, I'm going to be priced out of this. I don't even know if I would buy a straight figure like this for $30 at this point. And I'm kind of pissed too, because of, you know, these exclusives just piss me off. Because remember, like, Walmart had that red, white, and blue Duke for the 250th anniversary. And for some reason, either Walmart or Hasbro didn't think that collectors of G.I. Joe would really be going all out for that Duke, because for some reason they think that G.I. Joe fans probably hate America. And I'm sure there are some that actually do. This is all based on the G.I. Joe A Real American Hero series of toys from the 80s, when you get right down to it. If it wasn't for that line, we wouldn't have this now. So that whole thing where they just didn't make a whole lot of Dukes, it seems like, just is so ridiculous. But then I've always said, I think somebody at Hasbro in charge there actually hates G.I. Joe. And if they can ever get a chance to ruin it, they're going to do it, because, I mean, they kind of ruin it every time they do G.I. Joe. And again, I think it was another Destro's My Spirit Animal video where he talked about, no, it wasn't him, it was somebody else. I don't remember who it was now that I think about it. Sorry. If you know who I'm talking about when I say this, just post in the comments, or even link the video I'm talking about if you know it. But when Hasbro bought Kenner was basically competing with G.I. Joe at the time, right? With some of their boys' toys. Well, when they did all the merging of everything together, Kenner got put in charge of G.I. Joe, and that's when, you know, they stopped with the 3 3/4 figure line, and then did, I think, Sergeant Savage was one they mentioned first, and then G.I. Joe Extreme, and they're all different sizes and not compatible with the other stuff, which is big mistake back then. Anyway, it's enough ranting and stuff. I didn't mean to go that far off topic with this figure, but I just wanted to clear the air on some of that stuff, because it just irritates me. But overall, on this figure himself, for what he is, he looks good, honestly. And I'm glad they fixed the issue that I keep complaining about with bows. And that's a more creative way than I was thinking. I just wanted them to give us 2 different bows, one pulled back and one not pulled back. That works fine too, you know, probably saves some money. Probably does. It's just the Ninja Force Zartan is not one of my favorite figures to start with. Although now it's got me thinking, and I still haven't opened up the Cold Slither box I finally did get. Did he have a mohawk in that too? I don't remember. But anyway, if you enjoyed this review, please feel free to hit that like button, shoot an arrow at it if you want. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Perhaps you'll want to tickle that notification bell. I thank you for watching. Peace and love. My personality changes as often as my looks, and they're both bad. That sounds like a 12-year-old writing a fan fiction.